You're listening to the Bobby Ho Show. And I got a question. Does green sauce go with pastrami? When La Caridad goes, I go, I told myself. But Caridad will never close. So, while my wife scrolled listings for real estate in the land beyond, and our three daughters dreamed of their own rooms, puppies, and personal space, I had less urgency. The anchor of the Upper West Side still held true. Big Nick's joint? Gone. Williams Barbecue? Gone. Golden Stationery? Gone. Here a bank, there Dwayne Reed, everywhere Starbucks. But La Caridad remained solid, and so did I in NYC. La Caridad is my childhood. Going out to eat in the summer with my father and brother, scraping $6 from various pockets in high school from an aluminum takeout container of yellow rice and black beans. La Caridad is my adulting workplace, quote unquote, about me. When at the job, they ask you questions and you got to tell about yourself. I would use the familiarity of Chino Latino restaurants in NYC and La Caridad in particular. In my kindergarten teacher tone to the confused, that is Chinese Cuban. I am Chinese Jamaican on my dad's side. Swap the ropa vieja for brown stew chicken, keep the maduros and plantains, and that's me. Though I had moved from my childhood Upper West Side neighborhood to Brooklyn, I would still always find a way to conduct my own personal inspection at least once a year to confirm like Caridad was still there, holding down that corner of West 78th and Broadway. Grumpy waiters? Check. Signed Nick's picks? Check. Vertical stainless steel rice and bean drawers? Check. Full belly lunch special for less than 15? Check. No need to move to Jersey yet? Check, check. La Caridad did close, though, in July 2020. It received its obituaries, West Side Rag, New York Mag, the New York Times. All of them gave La Caridad its due. And I read all of them and duly considered life in Jersey. I could see the upside of a house, breathing space, and bathrooms. Score of open houses later across 21 and 2022, and an offer on a two-story Georgian built in 1920 with 5 bathrooms, we still remained in Brooklyn. The Instagram algorithm, though, caring and kind and sensitive, sensed the chuleta size hole in my heart and led me to La Dinastia, and also an appropriately old school Upper West Side Chino Latino spot I must have walked past plenty of times, but never even gave a glance to, because La Caridad had my heart. But La Dinastia has great IG content, alternating between the history of Chino Latino restaurants in NYC and beauty shots of chicken crackling with green sauce. Righteous Each vouched for it, so that makes it a real one. Did I have to be faithful to a memory? Was my anchor more than just La Caridad, but the spirit and flavor of old school Upper West Side and Chino Latino ness? Can an anchor for homeless have hashtags? Why, yes, and yes, it can. Because when I went to La Dinastina for the first time, I went solo. I needed space to process it all, and what if the food didn't live up to the posts? And it did and does. It wasn't like Caridad, but something uniquely its own, full of flavor. Them chuletas, though, and comfort, minus the grumpy Theo waiters. And as soon as I could, I brought my daughters there, so they could have a taste of some of the Upper West Side NYC I knew. I was needlessly nervous about their reaction. They loved it and asked why I had been gatekeeping the Chino Latino-ness and the green sauce. A father has few triumphs, and this was one of them. So I was content to make this my new anchor. Though miles from our part in Brooklyn, it was my spiritual living room, a place for satisfying and comfortable catch up with friends. So imagine my confusion when I saw a sign across the street that said, "Coming soon, La Caridad." The return of the Jedi? And even if the Force wasn't with his new creation, could La Caridad still be La Caridad, but on West 72nd Street? One of the pleasures of eating at the old school spot was that it was facing 78th and Broadway with these very large windows, and you could watch the whole world walk by. La Caridad on Broadway was a balcony with a view and great black beans. But what would be the deal with this new storefront looking spot? I walked into the new La Caridad 72, once after it reopened. It did not make sense to me. It was modern, clean, uncluttered, and friendly. And the kitchen was in the back, out of sight and sound. How can food taste good when you can't hear shouting over clanging walks? I knew I had to go, but I didn't go alone. I took one of my daughters, letting know we were getting Chino Latino, but it may not hit the same as the other spot. La Caridad 72 isn't like the old version. The new manager is way too welcoming as a host. There are pics of Nick's anchored by Jeremy Lin, but I didn't see any pics of New York anchors. No Ernie Anastas, no Sal Marciano. Are you still an Upper West Side restaurant without a signed headshot of Ernie? There is a pic of Ruben Blades, though. Ruben Blades said the old school Caridad had the best black beans in the city. This new La Caridad is like a open floor plan construction Jersey homes we viewed. There's plenty of personal space, great lighting, and check out that bathroom. The old Caridad is like a rush hour one train, which makes for misery if the table next to you got their food first. I often end up second guessing my order based on whatever landed right next to me under my nose. Whew, that garlic shrimp. At the new La Caridad, I returned to my standby order, the bistec salteado with yellow rice and black beans. This new La Caridad still has some tasty, creamy black beans, and my daughter had the boneless chicken crackling and green sauce, and the shrimp, the fried rice had the ham, pork, and shrimp. My daughter was crispy green sauce happy. So now I have a dilemma on West 72nd Street. I don't know which spot I'm headed to next time I'm in the neighborhood. I am happy knowing they're both there. And happily, when my daughters are adults, hopefully one of them will still be standing. But now I have an abundance of choices. Maybe next time on West 72nd Street, I'll just go for the pastrami queen or Charles pan fried chicken instead. And that leads me to my question. I wonder if pastrami goes with green sauce.